So now we've covered the challenges and the trends, and you have been here to study as well, and you bring in your experience, obviously. What do you think we can do as a business school to prepare students for those challenges ahead?
The syllabus needs to have an element of flexibility in it, because things are going to change during. Someone's is year 1 intake, does a flower sandwich year 4 out. The world has changed in that period of time. So there needs to be an element, a little bit of flex and autonomy, or the ability, and I think that already exists, but for the lecturers to be able to tweak and adapt and soak up what's going on outside of it. And then I think outside influences in, I think, to keep the academics, the lecturers, to keep the students in tune with what's going on in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
You need to bring the real world in, genuinely bring the real world in, whether that be regular workshops where they just keep getting kind of exposed to what that really is and what that looks like, or as we did last year, work together and bring industry and academia together, and then try and prepare them for what the real world is. Bring them real world scenarios. Don't pull any punches. There's no point that, no one's paying tens of thousands of pounds to be educated here to be not showing the real world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, you hear that from students. They really enjoy those real world applications because they can see what they've learned being applied, or bits of what they've learned being applied. So I think, someone that working in the world of big data, or someone that has applied virtual reality, or someone that is seeing kind of rapid response challenges and that kind of stuff, if you bring them in and the students are prepared to listen, because it's a different mindset.
Mm-hmm.
To be reading a book and writing an essay on the theory of X, or someone like me with a little bit of colourful language and some funny and half serious anecdotes, and can reel off a number of tales of what it's really like to work in marketing.
Mm-hmm.
What I thought marketing was going to be was nothing like what it was when I got there.
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't at all. Loads more spreadsheets, a lot less sitting around a boardroom table really brainstorming on a new brand. Happens like, I worked in 2 really successful creative agencies. I probably created new brands maybe 3 or 4 times in 6 or 7 years.
And we always teach that. Create a new brand, that's a good project.
Yeah, and it really doesn't happen very often.
They're creating more new brands in the classroom, and they will never do it well.
It's really exciting in an agency when it comes in, but
yes.
it really doesn't come in very often. But more often than not, you'll do a brand refresh. So you take an old brand and kind of it needs to maintain some of its old values, but it wants to be fresh and new. It's a dichotomy of a brief. It's really difficult because you've got people in the business that can't quite let go of what they used to be, and then other ones driving what they need to be, and and there's loads of soft skills that I think would be useful inside university that maybe I wasn't taught.
So what other skill sets or soft skill sets can you think of? Or going back to our co-teaching last year, what was your experience of the final year students? Most of them have been to placement.
They were hugely confident individuals when you spoke to them. They knew their stuff, they knew what they wanted to do. There was an element, as there should be when you're early 20s, an element of youthful arrogance in there, and good luck to them. But actually when we pushed them to do verbal examinations or stand up and voice their opinion outwardly to a room, they really weren't comfortable with that. And it's the one thing I would tell anyone listening, and I'm sure you're about to ask me about tips, but it doesn't matter if you are going to finance or procurement, or then more so in sales or marketing, you will have to stand in a room and voice your opinion very, very quickly. Like, no respite, within a month. If it's not part of your initiation or induction, I'd be surprised. You're going to have to stand in front of a room, 10, 12, 20, 50, 100 people, and tell them who you are, or tell them what you think, or you've done your 3 months probation, what would you change? And you, to be prepared for that before you get there, sets you apart. Because to stumble over your words and not have confidence in your convictions, and to be too shy or retiring, or even the other way, overbearing or and not to have been skilled or schooled in those skills is, would be useful.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting you say. I think it actually probably starts already when they go for an interview.
100%.
When they ask about their strengths and weaknesses, their opinion about the industry, they might be knowledgeable about it, but having an opinion is something very different.
Yeah, and part of our verbal examination with that semester last year was about having opinions. And so for 12 weeks we told them, honestly, as long as you can hold a conversation about these subject areas, you understand it, maybe you have some examples, we'll be happy with that. And yet, still, I bet you if we turned the clock off and I spoke to them in the corridor, they'd have been able to talk to me for 10 minutes about that big data or social media or whatever it was we were asking them. But a pressure environment, as it would be in your new office in front of your new colleagues, there was
or the CEO,
or the CEO, the CMO wants to see what you're made of. What a great chance to make an impression, or harpoon your career for the next 2 years. So it's I really would advocate that. I think it's a massive thing.